Let's check this video out then from Legion WUWA, great creator. New leaks, insane Shorekeeper buff plus weapon buff 1.3 leak kit update. Okay, so a kit's been updated then. I don't know if this is talking about the buff where her copy one, a Resonance Chain 1 is now a part of her core kit, or this is an additional buff on top of that. I do believe her domain expansion, what I'm going to call it, got buffed as well in terms of the scope, the distance, and the time that it covers. So let's check it out. Great content creator. Just hit 10K as well, so congrats to that. Let's watch it.
Alright guys, today's video, we have some new changes done to Shorekeeper and her weapon to talk about. Some new leaks and updates with the ongoing 1.3 beta came in, and she's already looking much better.
We'll watch in a second as well a little video of Shorekeeper and just how gorgeous this game is. It's a beautiful video, and it just shows off the game and how pretty it is as well.
With a few things in her kit that got buffed, as well as some nerfs to go over, but it's nothing to worry about. If you guys want to keep being updated on everything Wuthering Waves, make sure to like, subscribe, put those notifications on, where we cover news about the game 24/7. But alright, let's not waste any time guys. We have a good amount of stuff to go over with the new changes made to Shorekeeper and her weapon.
Okay.
So let's start with the new nerf on Shorekeeper. Now, I believe this was...
Wait, nerf? Shorekeeper buff, but we're going into a nerf? Enhanced intro now ends Resonance Liberation Stellar Realm.
Was already in the game before, so I'm not sure why they put this as a nerf.
I was going to say,
I believe it was already part of her kit, but let's read it over guys.
If I remember right, I'm trying to think back now. Actually, I don't know if it was.
So it says here, the enhanced intro now ends Resonance Liberation Stellar Realm. So this is basically when you reach the third stage of Shorekeeper's domain, provided by her ultimate. You will get the special intro animation once you switch back in with Shorekeeper, which will reset the ultimate, and then you will have...
I think that was mentioned, wasn't it? Because doesn't that then give you the Resonance Liberation crit damage? If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember here, but I think that was the case.
To use it again and make your way up to the third stage again. Now, I believe this was already in the kit, so I don't know why they put this as a nerf.
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah,
but
potentially.
Still, it's not a...
It could be, because we did, initially, we thought that it was a 10% crit damage and then a 20% crit, when it was a 10% crit and a 20% attack damage flat, wasn't it? So potentially that could have been what it was.
Big issue, since by the time you reset the Stellar Realm, you should have enough energy to use the ultimate again, especially if you build her with a lot of energy regen, which we will have. That's
what I'm going for, HP energy regen, I think.
Have to build her with energy regen in mind. So this nerf is nothing to worry about. Moving on to the buffs on Shorekeeper. Now this should all be new stuff from now on.
Okay.
The first buff that Shorekeeper has is on her ultimate. So the buff on her resonance...
Oh, okay. So the translation issue that I just spoke about is no longer a translation issue. It is crit damage. So initially, we thought it was 10% crit for every 20% energy regen, I believe. So every 20% energy regen gave you 1 crit damage all the way up to 10. And then on the next stage, it was up to 20% for every 10%, I believe. Every 10% gave you 1 all the way up to 20%. And then it was spoken about or updated that that was a mistranslation, and it was 20% attack, not crit damage. So it seems now that it is crit damage. So that's better. That's for sure better, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, though, flat attack is not bad, though. You know what I mean? It all depends on the rest of your crit damage across the board as well. But yeah, this is good. This is good.
Liberation Supernal Stellar Realm now increases crit damage by up to 20%. Previously, it was 20% attack. So this is really nice. This is buffing the third stage of Shorekeeper's ultimate, providing more damage to your team. And it's a pretty nice change. Shorekeeper will now be giving more crit rate as well.
All depend. Crit rate or crit damage? She's going to be crit damage, yeah. So it all depends on your crit rate. If you got really crappy crit rate, that crit damage effect's not going to be as substantial as maybe just a potential increase on attack. You know, if you've got really bad crit rate, buffs on your attack are always great. But obviously, if your crit rate is decent, which you always want it to be, then of course you want better crit damage because then you're just going to do insane. Number's going to go burr, isn't it?
Well, as more crit damage to your characters now. They also buffed her S1.
So is that what it is then now? Is the first stage crit rate, second stage crit damage? Okay then, if that's the case, I can't remember, man. I'm trying to think here. Then yeah, that's great. That's great.
So let's go over that. Using the enhanced intro no longer ends resonance liberation, and it says here it might also either have unlimited range or increase or not increase the range anymore. So this is really interesting that they are putting unlimited range, because beforehand the S1 was increasing the range and the duration of her ultimate.
Which became
now,
part of a core kit.
The S1 provides unlimited range, which is really, really good.
Okay, interesting. Because the initial S1 has now become part of a core kit, hasn't it? So I was wondering what was going to happen to S1. So this makes sense to me now. I think this is a smart move because it's going to make wanting to pull copies of her even more desirable now, because they know that they're probably not going to get many people pulling on Zhangli Yao. So the potential to encourage people to pull Shorekeeper and then pull her copies has definitely gone up now.
And
I did say that I was probably going to be pulling for her copies anyway.
You have to take this with a grain of salt.
I'll say it's a little bit contradictory,
but now,
really.
Using your special intro with Shorekeeper will not reset the ultimate. This one is a really, really good change, giving you a longer time with the third stage of her ultimate, which means a longer time of healing, crit rate, and crit damage to your team. Her S1 is really tempting to get now. But as I said earlier, if you have sufficient energy regen on Shorekeeper, you should not have a problem with...
Again, I said this as soon as you saw a kit. HP, energy regen, that's where I think I'm going anyway. Of course, there's going to probably be people coming out with builds for that just like totally eclipse that idea, but I think that's the best way to go.
Ending the ultimate, as you can just use the ultimate right away. And especially those who want her weapon. Her weapon is really, really insane, guys. It gives a crazy amount of energy regen.
So weapons based around that as well, then,
her
so that's
weapon
good.
gives around 80% energy regen. So her weapon is really more valuable than the S1 right now. But the S1 is still very nice, as you won't have to go all the way back up to the first stage of her ultimate by using the intro skills again and again.
She definitely seems like she's designed for FOMO. She's a FOMO bull, isn't she? She's the perfect character to come right after a free banner of the she's insane to add to your account. A first resonance chain now looks fucking crazy in my opinion, and a weapon as well is awesome. So you really, if you really want to make have a really good addition to your account, you're going to want to try and do that. Get her, get the weapon, get a copy. It's easier said than done. I get that. That's where the FOMO comes in. Probably smart. And then if we do get Camilla as the next banner, that's a smart move from Kuro in that regards, in terms of the fact that they've probably had a little bit of an underwhelming month for them in terms of revenue in the last one. This is a good way to potentially get a really good revenue boost. People have been saving, people have been stacking, and now there's a potential to spend. And then, oh, you've got the character, you've won your 50-50, or you lost and you were able to carry on and then get her. And then it's like, oh, now do I pull on the weapon? Or I've pulled on the weapon. Maybe I open my wallet just to get that first resonance chain. I think this is a smart move.
So it's really good to extend the duration of your crit rate buffs and your crit damage buffs. But moving on, we have some changes done to the S2.
Oh, okay.
So the character attack in Stellar Realm increases by 20%. So it seems they took the old buff on her Stellar Realm, the 20% attack buff, and they put it in the S2 instead. We also got some changes to the S3.
That's smart.
So when Shorekeeper uses Enhanced Liberation, she gains 2 Concerto energy, which previously the 2 Concerto energy was gained by using her intro skill. And now all you have to do is use her ultimate. Alright, so these are all the changes done to Shorekeeper, and I would say it's not...
They've definitely made a lot more desirable in terms of pulling on a resonance chain, haven't they? For sure. And then I think also combining a weapon with that first resonance chain, it's like that's FOMO there, you know? Because like I've got my guarantee for her. I'm gonna pull for a weapon, and I'm definitely gonna try and get a copy of it as well. That's the first time I've done that in this game. Usually once I've got the character, I've either gone then on to trying to pull the weapon or just like, right, go into save mode for the next banner. But I think this is going to be the first character where I'm going to be like, right, I'm going to try and see if I can get a copy before I open my wallet. Potentially though, it might be one of the characters where I'm like, you know what, I might just do a little bit of spending here just to get that first resonance chain and get the weapon as well, because I just think she's going to be really useful for the account across the board. I really do.
Nothing too crazy, but the buff made to her ultimate, that 20% crit damage, is really nice. That I would say that's the highlight of the changes done to Shorekeeper. The fact that she can now give crit rate and crit damage with the...
So it was, at first one was crit rate, wasn't it? And then the second factor was crit damage. So yeah, that is insane now. Because obviously you're up in the crit rate and then you're up in the crit damage as well. So put it together. It's a party, baby.
Ultimate
it's a party.
To your whole team is really, really good. But that's not all, guys. We still have a few more things to talk about, which is regarding Shorekeeper's weapon. So let's go over that. So about the changes made to her weapon, the Concerto energy and attack percent buff is given with Resonance Liberation. Previously, it was given with the intro skill. And
so really with her now, energy regen is going to be a massive thing, because you're going to want that ult up as much as you possibly can, aren't you? You know, you're going to want that up all the time, really. Okay, these all seem cool to me, actually. These are improvements in my eyes.
The attack buff went from 10% to 20%. Now, I would say this is also a very nice change. The attack buff going up to 20% is really nice. I would say 10% did seem a little low at first. And for the energy and attack buffs, now since it's given by the Resonance Liberation instead of the intro skill, is really nice. The weapon can be used on more characters.
Yeah,
possibly a really good option.
Again, I was saying this before, that's a good point, that is. That's what I think Corona need to be doing in regards to the signature weapons as well, is because there's a guarantee, there's no 50-50 on the weapon, so they're losing money in that regard. Make them work on more people. Of course, you're going to want to make it specifically a little bit better, or even quite a bit better for that character, because it makes sense, you know, because why would you pull on it when that banner comes out? But make them work with a bunch of other characters as well, because that way then it makes the weapon, even if you don't want the character, you're going to pull on the weapon because you're like, do you know what? This is going to help the rest of my roster a lot. And I think that's a smart thing to do. And I think it separates the 5 stars from the 4 stars even more, which I know some people don't like, but in my eyes, in terms of a business move, I think it's smart for them to do. And if you're not pulling on banners and you're free to play, there's a perfect opportunity for you to increase your account standing and have no 50-50. You're guaranteed, you know? You just pull in as you normally do. You're potentially getting a 5-star here and there, and then just concentrating on making sure that majority of your time and effort goes into trying to get some weapons, because it's going to help you out a lot as well.
Option now for Verena with this new change on the weapon. So the weapon value has increased a lot now, especially with that extra attack. Let me know what you guys think of these changes on Shorekeeper and
the
her
W's,
weapon.
in my opinion.
I would say it's nothing too crazy, but the fact she is now giving your team...
I think that I think they're actually a little bit more than that. I think they're going to be actually really quite decent. They're not, again, they're not crazy, but these I think we're probably going to see actually on field, these are going to actually be more impactful than we think. Again, she might come out and she might not necessarily have that much impact, but just looking at a kit in terms of raw information and raw numbers, she just seemed insane anyway. So any little incremental increase in a capability for me, just you know, it just makes her even more crazy.
Team crit rate and crit damage is really nice. On top of the healing, she has both healing from her skill and the ultimate.
She's like a jack of all trades, master of none, really. You know.
And
we need something like that.
Intro ending, the liberation is not a big deal
versatility.
At all. Shorekeeper is a unit you want to build with energy regen in mind, so she won't have a lot of downtime, especially if you get her weapon. Her weapon now looks really, really good with the extra buffs it provides. Imagine running her weapon with the healer set, the rejuvenating set, that provides more attack, so that is 35% attack to your team right there. Then Shorekeeper's kit allows your team to gain a 20% crit damage, 10% crit rate, and another 15% damage bonus to your team. So,
and then if you get in her, what was it her S2, you get in the 20% attack as well off the Resonance Liberation also. Yeah, man, she's a stat person's dream, I think.
Oh yeah, guys, Shorekeeper is still looking like a
I think for guide channels, she's going to be really good for those people.
A lot of people
she's going to be able to be used in multiple different ways.
Saying that Verena is still a better option, But after
So that's wild to me. Like, looking at it to me, I think, like, obviously, Verena specialising in one particular thing, I think, is that, obviously, off-field buffs and a healing. And I know that she's kind of doing a similar thing, but she does it in a different way in my eyes. And she, like, again, I think she's a jack of all trades. And I think we need that. We need characters that are going to be, you know, able to be used in a multitude of different ways. I just think in terms of going at the game, because that's one thing that Kuro are really good at with this game, is that it feels more and more now as we get into the game. There's loads of different ways to tackle the content, and I think that Shorekeeper's just going to add to that.
these changes, I would say Shorekeeper is looking a lot better than Verena as of now. The crit rate buffs and crit damage buffs has really good value, and that is just a small part of her kit as well. She's doing so much more. Me personally, I'm pretty hyped for this unit. I can't wait for Shorekeeper. I'm probably gonna get Shorekeeper and her weapon now.
Damn right.
Since the weapon looks too good to pass up, and maybe it's gonna be a good option for future supports as well. With the crazy amount of energy regen and the attack buffs and everything it provides, I will for sure be picking up this weapon. And luckily, with Zhengli Yao dropping for free today, I'm going to be able to save a lot of pulls. But I got to keep in mind, Camellia is leaked to come in 1.4.
This is true. This is true. That's my only worry, is that I've got my guarantee now. I'm going to lose my 50-50 on Camellia. Or if that happens, then I'm just going to have to. I'm going to have to, man. I'm going to have to FOMO, because I cannot be missing out on her. I missed out on Gigi, and that still kind of gripes me just a little bit. But it's made a little bit easier by the fact that Shorekeeper's coming, and then obviously Camellia, hopefully. I'm still kind of annoyed.
So that is a really hype character for me. And yeah, guys, have fun with your new Zhengli Yao. If there's anything else,
still gotta build him.
For sure keep you guys updated right away. So if you enjoyed, feel free to like, subscribe, put those notifications on to get updated with Wuthering Waves. We should be expecting a lot more leaks coming soon. But that is all for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks again for 10K and all your support. Really appreciate it. And see you all in the next one.
Good day.
Yeah, man. Congrats to Legion for that. He did comment in my video, and I did have to say that. Congrats. It's great to see good content, and I like seeing good content creators do well. So yeah, man. New leaks, updates. In my opinion, these are all looking good. It looks like the initial thing that we thought Shorekeeper was going to do is the case. Now, whether that was just a mistranslation and then it wasn't a mistranslation, I don't know. Or Kuro looked at the mistranslation, was like, actually, yeah, that might be a good idea. I don't know. I don't know exactly how this went down, but that's kind of what we thought it was initially. It turned out that it wasn't, and there it is. So yeah, it's making a S1 look great, in my opinion. Her weapon looks amazing. I think she's a must pull. I know people have commented on my videos, you say that for all of them. All right, I know, but still, I think she is, man. I think she's a great addition to your account. I think she will help out a lot of people. You know, like I say, she's a jack of all trades. Her weapon looks insane. It looks like it's going to be really useful for other characters as well. That energy regen's ridiculous. And yeah, man, yeah. She's looking good. I'm excited about this character, and hopefully as well, Camellia comes soon. We're getting the Black Shores, all that good stuff. Things are looking good. I'm excited. I am excited.